اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما لا ايمانا وفقنا في الدين. اللهم لا سهل الا ما جعلته سهلا وتجعل الحزن اذا شئت سهلا. In our previous lesson we discussed about the ghusl and then the faraid of ghusl, the sunnah of ghusl, and then also fadail of ghusl. So today we will move on to Bab Tayammum. Bab Tayammum. That's dry ablution. So Mu'allif said, قال المؤلف رحمه الله تعالى باب التيمم. وللتيمم فرائض وللتيمم فرائض وسنن وفرائض. فأما فرائضه فأربعة. وأما فرائضه فأربعة. النية. So Mu'allif said Bab Tayammum. This chapter talks about Tayammum, that is dry ablution. And then he said وَلِلتَيَمُّمِ فَرَائِضُ وَسُنَنٌ وَفَضَائِلُ. And then Tayammum has obligatory act, Sunan, recommended act, and then also Fada'il, that's meritorious acts, right? So, and he said فأما فرائضه فأربعة. The obligatory act of Tayammum are four. The obligatory acts of Tayammum are four. النية. النية وهي أن ينوي استباحة الصلاة لأن التيمم لا يرفع الحدث على المشروع. So then the first obligatory act of Tayammum is النية, to make what? To make intention. Right? To make intention. And then he said وهي أن ينوي استباحة الصلاة. So the intention should be that you are performing, or a person is performing Tayammum to permit him or her to pray. That's the intention, right? So now let's talk a bit about the intention. So here, intention, how did we explain when we got to wudu? How do you make intention for wudu?
What we do first, you have to be in the consciousness, and you go and you make the intention that you are going to perform wudu to pray, to enable you to be clear to pray. Yeah, for the sake of Allah.
Yeah. So that's to get rid of what today, to get rid of all the impurities, and also permit you to pray. And then you also include for the sake of Allah, so that you get the reward. Because the niyyah that you are performing ablution to permit you to pray or to get rid of the impurities is what a niyyah that you do for the ablution or the ghusl to be what? To be valid. You get it? But as whether it is an act of worship, how do you get the reward? You still have to intend that you are doing it for the sake of Allah to get the reward. Is that clear? Okay, so with Tayammum also, you intend that you are performing Tayammum to permit you to pray. Do you get this? Right? So meaning, the Prophet said, لا يقبل صلاة أحدكم إذا أحدث حتى يتوضأ. When one of you is in the state of impurity, his or her prayer will not be acceptable unless the person perform ablution. No prayer will be acceptable without a valid ablution. Okay, so here it means that you can't pray in a state of what? Impurity, right? So you have to what? You have to be in a state of what? Purity to what? To pray. Okay, so then also we have two types of what? Purification. That is wudu, that is the minor purification, that's wudu, and also major purification, that is ghusl. Okay, these are the two types. So, and then we use water for these two types of what? Purifications. Okay, so we need what? We need water to perform these two types of purification. So now, if you need water to perform these two types of purification and you don't have water to perform, what do?
Perform tayammum.
You perform what? You perform tayammum. So tayammum substitute what? Wudu and ghusl. So tayammum itself does not get rid of all the impurity in you, does not remove the impurity on a person. Okay? It just permits you to what? To pray. You get it? Because you can't say the Sharia does not allow you not to pray because you can't find water. You understand? So it has permitted you to what? To pray. Even we will discuss, after we discuss how to perform tayammum, the fara'id, we will also come to a certain issue relating, pertaining to tayammum, right? If you can't find water, you can't find sand or soil, or what do you do?
I don't know.
Yeah, so we will look at that. So here, what we have to understand is that the niyyah that is required in tayammum is that you intend that you are going to perform tayammum to permit you to what?
To pray.
To pray. That's the niyyah. You get it? So you are not intending to get rid or to remove what? The impurities, because the tayammum does not remove what? Impurity. Do you get it? Is it clear? Okay. So he said, وهي أن ينوي استباحة الصلاة لأن التيمم لا يرفع الحدث على المشروع, because tayammum does not remove impurity based on the popular or the majority, based on the opinion of the majority. And then the second one, وتعميم وجهه, that is to wipe the entire face, right? To wipe the entire face. We will explain how to perform the tayammum. But wiping the entire face means to what? To place your hands like this, starting from what? From the hairline, like this. The hairline this way. So then you rub it like this. Like this. So this way, it's what? Your hand will touch every part of the face. You get it? So that's what تعميم وجهه ويديه إلى كوعيه, right? So meaning you wipe the entire face, okay? And also the hands, you rub on the hands, or you wipe on the hands. You wipe on the hands from the fingertips to the wrist, right? Okay. So you wipe it this way, like this. Okay. So that's what you do. So this is part of what? Part of the obligatory act of tayammum, right? Okay. And then he said, وَضَرْبَةُ الْأُولَى. So and then he said the first striking. So tayammum, we perform tayammum with what? With clean and pure earth, right? So this, like this, right? This is what darba. So you don't have to strike this way or press. No, you just place your hand on what? On clean earth, and then you are ready to go. Yeah, just place it like this, and then after that you blow. You blow on it before you write. So don't forget that this tayammum is what? It's the purpose of performing tayammum is what?
To permit you to pray.
To permit you to pray, not to make yourself dirty. And it's also what? A kind of dry purification. Okay? So don't go to where there's what? Impurity or there's dirt. Then you use that earth to perform ablution. No. Go to where there's clear and clean earth, then perform ablution. So we'll talk about what do you use, what to use to perform tayammum. Okay, what are the type of what are the things that you can use to perform tayammum? And then he said, "What about ula?" That's what. That's
First strike.
That's the first one. So here we understand, although about ula, that's the obligatory act of tayammum. Any question? Okay.
So how you just mentioned, is it according or maybe?
No, we explained the order and the sequence. Okay. So now we just have to understand the fara'id, the sunan, and then the fara'id. Then we come to we get into the details and also look at certain issues. How do you perform the tayammum? What do you need to perform the tayammum, and then all that. You get it?
Yes.
All right. So, والصعيد الطاهر. والصعيد الطاهر. So here it's also what you need a clear or clean or pure earth to perform that tayammum. So you don't go to where there is impurities, right? To perform the tayammum. You use clean earth to do that. So now
that one is part of the obligatory act.
Yeah.
That makes it 5.
So of course he said وضربة الأولى, the first striking. Where do you strike? Where do you strike? The earth. So it's no part of it. Okay. So وضربة الأولى والصعيد الطاهر. Okay, وهو now he's going to explain the pure earth, right? So we said you have to use the pure or clean earth to perform tayammum, right? So now he's explaining what the pure earth means. Because Allah said, فَتَيَمَّمُوا صَعِيدًا طَيِّبًا. Perform what? Perform ablution, perform tayammum with what? With clean earth. Alright, so, and then he said, وهو كل يعني صعيد الطاهر, clean earth is what? وهو كل ما صعد على وجه الأرض. He said everything on the surface of the earth is considered what? Pure or clean earth. Okay, so he will explain further. Now he said, and that's a min turabin. So part of what now he's mentioned what you can use to perform the clean earth that he mentioned. That is turab, right? Turab, that is soil, and then he also mentioned sand. Okay, sand, and then also hijara. You can use also what? A rock, right? A stone. Okay, but this stone, it has to be big, like a brick. A brick you can use a brick to perform tayammum. Right?
So you mean the stone? It has to be in the size of a brick.
Not as it should be big. That it can cover all your hands. You can strike with all the two hands. Right? It should not be something small that you have to wrap or put.
Maybe if your house, maybe your house is big, maybe even though the rock is big, but your hands will.
No, you can't. I mean, you can't see that your hands are bigger than every rock.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be bigger than your hand.
Yes, it's supposed to be bigger than the hand, right? Okay. So it should not the stone should not be what the stone should not be stone. It should not be what small, right? It should be what big a stone or a rock. Okay. And also, wasabakhatin, and also a clay, right? But here, it's a wet land, so it can also mean clay, but you don't use a wet clay for tayammum. You use what a dry clay, right? Like a clay brick, okay, a brick that was made out of clay or with clay. We ought to use it to perform tayammum. So these are
So that's the meaning of the wet land.
Yeah. That's the sabacha.
Not necessarily wet.
Not necessarily wet. Okay, so it's but if let's say here he's mentioned, in case you can't find any soil or sand or rock or stone, then you can use what you can also use that. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, it's purification, right? Not to make yourself dirty. So you find a clean surface of the earth in order to perform tayammum, right? And then, okay, as we said, you don't have to. You just have to strike like this. Don't press, and also it's not necessarily that your hand has to be dirty. Okay, yeah. So you know,
We have to see the sun.
no, you don't have to. Even you have to blow it if there is sun. Okay, you have to blow it out.
There shouldn't be any sign of sand, even after touching the first strike.
Yeah, of course. See, when you strike like this, you just place your hand. You don't have to press. Just place it like this. That's all. And then if there's a sun or something, do what you blow it, and then before you watch your hand.
But not necessarily touching every part of your palm.
Brother, how can you strike like this without touching? It has to touch everywhere. Because here he mentioned that you have to what? You have to wipe the entire face. Okay? So you are touching, you are striking with the palm, you open it. That's why you did not do this. You open it so that it can touch what the entire palm can touch the earth. You get that?
I think what he's saying is that you see, if you strike like this, like how the saying, you know, this part of the hand, the palm, it goes into like this, like.
So I are saying that you have to press.
No, he's saying like, it doesn't have. You see, if I do like this, this part will not get the sun. Like it's just that's how it is. I mean, this part, you see this part, to go inside.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's okay.
But again, after you've done like this, don't you think your face?
That's why you need like, you need a clean surface. Don't go where there is dust. You know, there are places where when you pass so much dust, what you see so much dust. Don't go there, right? You have many options here. You can use rock. A rock is always what? Mostly clean, right? Yeah. So you use rock or you use what? You find clean stone. Yeah.
Say, mostly rocks are dry, clean. So when you do crack, there wouldn't be any sign of.
No problem. No problem. Yeah. The purpose is not to make yourself dirty, brother. To perform tayammum. It's a dry ablution, dry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Say, what if it is cement? Maybe the surface. Maybe you are in a place that there is no sand. There is no clay. There is no any other option.
Okay.
But it's a cemented surface. So can you just go down and do it? Use it as tayammum?
Yeah, in that situation you can use that one because it's discouraged because it's mixed with what with some substances or chemicals. So with that, it's not pure earth. It's mixed.
But what about taps?
No, taps you can. And
So what if there's no option?
Say, and block.
We will come to that.
What of block?
Yeah, so now like a wall, this wall now, as you can see, this wall is painted. You can't use painted wall to say because it's made out of bricks. The wall is it's out of bricks or it's made with bricks. Then you can't use it. Okay? Yeah, you can't use this because when you use a painted wall, what is happening here? You are performing tayammum on the paint, not the brick. Okay. So, but if it's a wall that is not painted, made out of a clay brick or normal bricks that we have, then it's permissible. You understand? Even the Prophet ﷺ used a wall to perform tayammum. Yeah.
But not these walls.
Yeah, because
no, that time they were using clay bricks. They were using a clay brick, and then they don't paint, right? So okay. So now, وأما سننه فثلاثة. ترتيب المسح, and then the recommended acts are 3. That is what ترتيب المسح. ترتيب المسح. That is the order or the sequence. ترتيب. Okay.
so no, the tip is part of the sunnah.
Yeah, it's part of the sunnah, not the fara'id. You get it? So here it means that you can do it either ways, like starting with the hands before the wajib, or the wajib before the hands, right? You can do it that either way, and then it's all correct. So tartib, since it's sunnah, but of course, as we said, if we say it's sunnah, you know what, you don't just do what you want, right? But in case you forgot and then you did it, you did not follow the sequence or the order, there's no problem, it's still valid. You get it? Okay.
So tartib.
Huh? No, not tartib. Tartib.
Tartib.
No,
So-
I'm asking the tartib is like in order of the.
No, tartib is order, just order, right? The sequence. Meaning, so now, if we say it's order of ablution or the sequence of ablution, what do you understand then?
I mean, from this to this.
That's it. So where do you start when you're performing ablution? Yeah, with the hands. Even though the hands is not part of what? It's not part of the fara'id. You get it, but you start with it. Because that's how the Prophet performed. So you follow the order. Okay. And also they emphasize on what? On the order of what? The fara'id. With the fara'id, it has to be what? It has to be in order. You can, the first fara'id is what? Intention, right? So you can't wash the face before you intend. So they even say that you perform, even if let's say you forgotten to intend till you got to the face, you intend before you wash the face. Yeah, because that's the first one. That's the first part.
So what if you finish washing the face?
So you have to what? You have to intend and wash the face again. Because
You won't start from.
you won't start from the hands again. Yeah, I get it. It's only the fara'id when you mix it up or when you forget it, then you have to what? You have to start from what? From the beginning of the fara'id. You get it? Let's say that you forgot to intend and you wash the face and you wash what? The hands. Before you wipe the head or the hair, you remember that you forgot the intention. And you have to do the intention before washing the face and the hand. So now you have already washed the hands to the elbow. What do? You come back to the intention, then wash the face. You don't have to wash the hands, do it mud and istinshaq. You don't need that. Why? Because it's sunnah. And then the sequence of that is also not what? It's also not obligatory to follow the order. You get it? So here, the tartib is what? Based on what? The fara'id. You get it? Okay, so
The explanation where if you try to forget this one, the fara'id, how do you do it?
okay, we said that the fara'id, it has to be in order, in sequence, right? So let's say that you forgot your intention, okay? So, and then you know that the first fara'id is what? The first fara'id is intention. And then you've already washed the face and then the hands. Before you wrap the hair, you remember that you forgot your intention. What do? You come back to the intention. Intent. Do your intention. Make your intention. Then wash the face. Then the hands to the elbow. Then before you you can wrap the hair. You get it? So that's the order.
So wherever you go to, maybe down, then you start from the face.
Yeah, you start from the face. Why? Because the sequence, the order of fara'id, the obligatory act, is what? It's what? It's fara'id.
So that means that if you're at mud and you remember to do the intention, you have to continue with the nose and continue.
No, if let's say that you've not even rinsing the mouth or even sniff or inhale or exhale, you've not done that. After you've washed the feet, then you remember. You don't have to start at first. You just have to you will just rinse you rinse the mouth, sniff in and out, and then you are done. You get it? And let's say also the ear, rubbing of the ear is what? It's what? It's part of the sunnah, right? Okay, let's say that you forgot to perform ablution, complete ablution, but you forgot to rub the ear. What do? You have to start at first? No, you don't have to start from the beginning. You just have to take a new water or renew the water, and then rub it and you are done. Even after prayer, let's say that you finish Zuhur prayer, you perform ablution for a Zuhur prayer, and then you forgot that you did not rub the ear. Right? After you are done with your prayer, right? So what do?
Go back.
You what?
Go back to
You
the
go back where?
So
you renew the water and perform
the
your
question
yes.
Brother, do you get the question? I said, you've performed ablution, okay, to pray Zuhur. After Zuhur, then you remember that you did not rub the ear. Okay? So what do?
I think it's two options. If you want, you can go just go and wrap only the ears with the intention that okay, like that only intention.
Yeah.
And if you like to just leave it, since it's not compulsory.
So what happened to the prayer?
So it's valid.
it's
The
valid.
prayer is valid.
Yes.
Why is it valid?
Because cleaning of the ears is sunnah.
Yeah.
So if you do it, it's complete the ablution. But
Yeah.
not doing it does not,
Yes,
invalidate
yeah,
it.
that's it. So now you see the importance of this categorization, the fara'id, the sunan, and then the fada'il. It's very important if you get the difference. Okay, so here after prayer you remember that you did not rub the ear, right? You just rub it and then move on to have complete ablution. You get it? But you don't have to what? You don't have to repeat the prayer. The prayer is valid. You get it?
But
So
if
what
you
if
finish,
in case we are in prayers too again?
And you remember?
Yeah.
You continue, there's no problem. Yeah.
What of the fara'id?
For the fara'id, of course, now, let's say that you forgot to wash your face. People do forget. Sometimes you can wash only one hand and forget what. You wash the right and forget the left. Yes. Yeah. It happens, So you did that, and then you started praying. And you remember that, you can see that the right hand is really soft, and then this is really dry, So you remember that, no, you did not wash the left hand. What do?
go back.
Yeah, you have to just end the prayer and then go and complete. Start.
So what if
So
it
that one,
happens
you
that
start from the face.
No, you will not start from the face.
it's not from there?
Here of course you can start from the face, wash the hand, and then continue till the end. But it's better you start from the face. Yeah.
Okay, but
Sure.
that means if you are doing the ablution, for that one you can start from the face. But if you are in prayer, then that one you have to, go and
No, brother. See, I said it was an example. Right. So it was an example. I said, when you are performing ablution and you forget any obligatory act, you have to come back to what? To the act before that particular act, that particular obligatory act. Let's say you forgot intention, right? And you know that you have to intend before washing the face. And you've what? You've already washed the what? The hands. And you remember that you did not intend. So you have to what? You have to come back to what? To the first point of what? Of the fara'id. Not all the time. Let's say that you forgot to wash the face. Once when you got to your feet. So where do you start? Do you start with the intention or with the face? With the face. You don't have to intend again because you've already intended. Right? Yeah. So you get it now? Do you get it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
So, what if you're in the prayer, like you're in the midst of prayer and you remembered you were doubting whether you actually wash your face? What about that one? That one is doubt. It's more like you did, it's more like you didn't do, so you're doubting.
so if you can find out, because if you wash the face, you can at least
You're in the air condition.
If you have the air condition.
Maybe they've performed like 2 rakats.
Okay, so
Then-
in our mazhab, this doubt invalidates the ablution. This doubt, it invalidates the ablution. So you have to go and perform ablution.
Wow.
Yes, the doubts, it invalidates the ablution. We discussed this.
But I remembered we also said that if you actually perform the ablution and you are doubting whether you have the ablution performed or not, you can just continue with the ablution.
That's different. Here, there's 2 different scenarios. The first one, you are in doubt whether you've washed the face or not. And then washing the face is what? Obligatory. Without washing it, the ablution is what? Invalid. Okay? This is different. So you have to make sure you are praying with what? You have valid ablution. So therefore, this doubt, in our mazhab, it's what? It nullifies the ablution. You have to stop the prayer and go and perform ablution. You don't have ablution.
So even if you're the imam.
Then you have the imam. That's even binding. That's even binding. See, the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, yusalluna bikum in akhta'u فَإِنْ أَخْطَأُوا فَلَكُمْ وَعَلَيْهِمْ. They lead you, the imams, they lead you in prayer. When they make mistake, they will bear the sin. Right? They will bear your sin and their sin too. And then you have no sin. Okay, so if you are the imam, it's even more dangerous. Okay, so now, the second scenario is that you are certain that you've performed ablution. But you are in doubt whether you've nullified the ablution or not. See what? You use the certainty. Okay? You use the certainty, but it's recommended, it's highly recommended you forget about this doubt and certainty and go and perform ablution. Yeah.
So again on the issue of you being the imam and forgotten to perform one of the fara'id, you are in doubt whether you actually performed it or not. Say, don't you think you should complete and you should perform ablution again and come and lead again, or because maybe the way you stop in the midst of praying.
You are not the prophet.
Say,
You are not the prophet. The prophet.
Say, how do you stop that prayer?
Brother, if you are, let's say, you are in a village. You're in a village where there's no who can lead the prayer except you. Then I doubt. I doubt whether the Ma'mun will wait for you to go and come. See, the Prophet once, he came, and then the Sahabas, when the Prophet when it's time for prayer, the Bilal will go and call the Prophet. Okay, so immediately they see the Prophet, then they get up. So Bilal called the Prophet, and the Prophet was coming. So they saw him coming. So they all got up, and then they were in their rows. So the Prophet came, and then he started praying. Then he remembered that he don't have what he has to perform ghusl. He is in a major state of what? Impurity. So what did he do?
Major impurity.
Yes.
Okay.
So he has to go and perform ghusl. Okay, so what happened? He asked them to what? To remain how to what? To keep standing. So he waited for him, he went and performed ghusl and came back. Then continued the prayer. So that's the prophet.
Say you announce. Like
How
say,
do you announce? If you announce,
it's
if
rare, but I've never seen. That's why I want to know how it's actually done.
okay, so see, brother, if you are, let's say you are the imam leading the prayer, and then you remember that you don't have a valid ablution. Okay, what do? You just what? You just pull someone. You just pull someone behind you to continue. You get it? That's what we do. So here, even scholars recommend that those behind the imam should be learned. It's not anyone who can just stand behind the imam.
So is it the first three or
No, if let's say it's a community that there are many scholars, many students of knowledge, then it's better the first rule is what is occupied by these students or these scholars. You get it? But it's
it's like the elders.
Yeah, it's elders, those who are grown.
but of course they are right. They come before this.
Yeah.
So these students they don't come. They don't come early. So you can't come and see that because you are a student of knowledge, so you should allow it. Because there's blessing in the first one.
If the students of knowledge has to come first.
Yes, even the student has to come. So you don't have to be late. Since you know the value
of the
So, what if it happens that maybe the imam is maybe reciting a surah, like maybe in Surah Al-Baqarah or something, and he just remembered, so he stopped suddenly, and he turned and pulled someone, not knowing the person can continue. So what happens then?
See, brother, see, even if you're in the middle of a verse, right? The person cannot continue. The person should recite what he can. So you started Baqarah, no one asked you to start from Baqarah. He can recite Baqarah. So right? Simple. Yeah, don't stress anyone.
So what is maybe the case? Like I can see we are shifting, but maybe in case you are the imam. You've taken this one, Ankebut or something Baqarah. Now you start somewhere. Nobody, was able to correct you. Can you do?
No problem. You either go to you perform ruku, or you start from a different verse, or you even can jump from that verse to a different verse. Let's say you're on the 5th verse, and then you forgot the 6th verse. You have to remember the 7th verse. You continue with the 7th verse.
Okay, yeah. But if you are not, maybe can you change
brothers? Yeah. Let's continue.
We say it's necessary.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Or we should leave this and go to that. So
you're on sequence.
no one asked you to recite Baqarah. Alright, so and then وترتيب المسجد. Right, that's the sequence or the order of what wiping. Okay, so we demonstrate how to perform Tayammum, inshallah, and then also look at some issues about Tayammum, inshallah. Alright, and also he said وتشديد الضربة لليدين. So, and also you strike also for what? For wiping their hands. So he said that وضربة الأولى, it's what? The first striking is what? Is a foul, right? And then here is what? وتجديد الضربة, meaning the second striking, which is for the hands, is what? Is part of the sunnah. Do you get it? Alright. And then he said, وَأَمَّا فَضَائِلُهُ. وَأَمَّا فَضَائِلُهُ. al-fada'il, the meritorious act
Okay.
of what?
The recommended act, the order of sequence of wiping, and the second striking for the hands. We didn't talk about the third. There are three.
That's the second striking. It's the third one.
The striking.
So here, the first one is a tartibul masah,
No.
the sequence of what? Of wiping. Then the second one is what? ومسح من الكوع إلى المرفق. So the second, see, the first we said, even though we did not mention which part you have to wipe, okay, but the tayammum you are wiping only the face and then the hands, okay. So the obligatory part of it is what? From the fingertips to the wrist. You wipe the entire face as we demonstrated. Then you wipe from the fingertips to what? To the wrist. Okay. So this the wiping of what? The wrist to the elbow is what? Is sunnah. Do you get it now?
No.
So this is second recommended act, second sunnah of what? Of tayammum. And then the third is what? Tajdidu of Baba. That's what? That's the second striking. Is it clear now?
No, I'm saying.
Okay. وأما فضائله فثلاثة أيضا. And then also the meritorious or the virtuous act of tayammum is also what? It's also three. So he said, at-tasmiyatu, right? So that is to say Bismillah. Saying Bismillah is what? It's a meritorious what? Act. It's a fadila. Okay? And then he said, وَبَدْءُ بِمَسْحِ ظَاهِرِ الْيُمْنَى بِالْيُسْرَى إِلَى الْمِرْفَقِ. So wiping the upper parts of what? Of the hands from what? From the fingertips with what? With the left hand. And the right hand is what is recommended. So you use the left hand on the what? On the right hand. Then you use also on the right hand on the left hand. Okay. So this is what you start meaning. You start with the right part before the left. The right hand before the left. Is that clear? Okay. And then he said also وَمَسْحُ الْيُسْرَى مِثْلَ ذَلِكَ وَاللَّهُ أَعْلَمُ. Is this clear? Okay. So now let's come to how do you perform tayammum? How do you perform tayammum? Okay. Now you perform. How do you perform tayammum? Can you see?
I'll come.
Okay. So now.
We're going to put this one inside.
Okay. So now how do you perform tayammum? So now there's a hadith of Ammar bin Yasir. He said, بعثني النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في حاجة فاجتنبت ولم أجد الماء فتمرغت في الصعيد كما يتمرغ الدابة فلما أتيت ذكرت ذلك له فقال صلى الله عليه وسلم يكفيك أن تقول بيديك هكذا فضرب بيديه على الأرض فمسح وجهه ويديه. Right? So Ammar bin Yasir, this is very interesting. Ammar bin Yasir said, the Prophet ﷺ once sent me on an errand, okay, and then I found myself in what? In Medjugorje, in a state of what? Major impurity. And then I was not able to find water. So he rolled himself in what? In the sand. Yes. Thinking that what? That will purify him. And then he prayed. He did that and he prayed. In this narration he did not mention, but there's another narration that he prayed. He was with Omar ibn Khattab. Omar did not do that. Omar did not pray because he what? There's no water. But they were all what? In the state of what? Major impurity. Alright, so here he said when he came, so he rolled himself in what? In the sand as what? As animal does, as they do. So thinking that that would purify him from what? That major impurity. So when he came, then he mentioned that to the Prophet, and the Prophet said, يكفيك أن تقول بيديك هكذا. Right? It would have sufficed what? To just strike your hands to the earth like this. And the Prophet struck his hand like this. He struck his hand like this. And he wiped his face. And then his what? His hands. Right? So here he mentioned that the Prophet he struck once. Right? He struck once and then wiped his face and then the hands. But there's also another authentic hadith that says التيمم ضربتان ضربة للوجه وضربة لليدين. Right, so tayammum consists of what? Two striking. Right? One strike for the face and then the other strike for the hands. So here, that's why the scholars mention what? The second strike. The second striking as what? The second striking as what? As the fadila, right? Sorry, as sunnah. Okay. So now, how do you perform tayammum? So we said, what do you need to perform tayammum?
Sand. Dry sand. Clay.
Clay.
Block.
Stone or rock?
No.
And what? So you need sand, and also
Rock.
a rock
Or stone.
or stone.
Clay.
You can equally use what? A brick, right? A brick or a clay brick or a wall that was made out of what? Clay bricks. Okay. So we said that you can't use what? A painted wall to perform.
But
Now,
say you can't use a block.
of course you can use block.
Okay, enough.
You can use block. Which block? Are you referring to ice?
No.
Okay. A brick, right? That we use for building?
Mm.
Yeah.
So because I don't want to I don't know if maybe because they said maybe I don't know how to say ambulance should get once we mixtures some mixtures to us.
The brick?
Mm.
Yeah, of course. I mentioned earlier that it's discouraged, right? Because it's mixed with what? With cement, and then cement also what? It's mixed with some chemicals and all that. That's if you can't find all this. Okay.
So before we even continue, I wanted to know maybe in a state where you can't get all this, but there's stones.
Yeah, don't worry. First, learn how to perform the tayammum. Then we come to these issues.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Now, you what? You strike like this. You first make your intention. How do you make the intention?
You are performing to permit you to pray.
You are performing tayammum.
Only for the sake of Allah.
Of course, you can ask for it, so you can also say that.
Okay, or it's only ablution that maybe.
No, of course. Ghusl, ablution, it's all ibadah.
No.
So if you add the intention that you are doing it for the sake of Allah, you get the reward. But if you don't add it, you have what? A valid ablution or ghusl without what? Without reward. Do you get it? So the intention is what? It's for both validity and what? For reward. So don't deprive yourself from that reward. No. Yeah. Okay. So you what? Strike like this. That's the first. So if it is, let's say, a soil or a sand, you still have what? Left over here. What do? Then you blow. You blow it out. You remember this purification, not to make yourself dirty. So you blow it and make sure what the palm is what is clear. Then you what? You rub the face, starting from what? Sorry, you wipe the face starting from what? The hairline, like this. Right? Right, like this. This way, the hands will touch all part of the face. Okay? Alright. Then, if you want, you can use the same striking to what? To rub the what? The hands. From here, like this. Like this. Then, with the left to the right, like this way. They get it. So this is the tayammum. From here to what? To the wrist. So after wiping the face like this, then you what? You use the left without you use this way. Right? Then like this, you use what? The left hand this way. Then you start from this way to wipe it from here to what? To the wrist. Right? And then you use this way. The right also hand from here, from the fingertips to what? To the wrist. Then you what? You are done with what? With the fara'id. You get it? So if you want, then you strike again. This way, that's the second one. You blow, then you what? From here, from the wrist to the elbow, including the elbow. So you do it this way, then this way. Okay, then you wipe it like this. Right? But when you get here, then you what? You bring the hands this way, then you use it this way also. Right? This way, you wipe it, then you move it this way, this, and then you wipe it again. That's all. Is that clear? Right? Are we done?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, there are certain issues about tayammum that we need to know. Now we know the fara'id, we know the sunnah, we know the fara'id, and we also know how to perform, right? Yeah. Okay, we also know what to use in performing tayammum. So, now, there are certain things, and these are very important. Now, you need to know that you can't use one tayammum to pray two obligatory prayers, right? So let's say that it's time for Zuhr and you can't find water for tayammum, right? And you perform tayammum. After performing tayammum, you pray Zuhr. You can't use, and after Zuhr, you decide to stay in the mosque till Asr. Now, with that tayammum that you perform for Zuhr prayer, you can't use the same tayammum for Asr. Do you get it? Why? Because the tayammum, we said it what? It permits you to pray and does not remove impurity. Okay, so you have to repeat tayammum for every fard prayer. Okay, so another, is it clear? Is this point clear?
No.
Yes, Sheikh. Please, I have a question.
Ask.
Maybe you are about to settle from using plane, but before that you just perform tayammum to pray Zuhr, and you know in the plane too, you just wanted to pray Zuhr and Asr. Maybe the journey you are going. So can you pray Zuhr with it and finish with start Asr too, with the same tayammum?
So here in this case, scholars only mention you can make up two prayers or more with one tayammum. Only making up prayer. Right? So you make up, let's say it's time for Maghrib, but you forgot that you did not pray Zuhur and then Asr. So you have to pray Zuhur and Asr before Maghrib. So you can use one Tayammum to make up Zuhur, Asr, then pray Maghrib. It's permissible. So there should not be there should not be any delay between the prayers. Okay. So in the same concept, in the same way, you can use this Tayammum for two prayers, since there's no delay or any intervals between the two prayers. Is that right? Okay. But according to the Mazhab, you can't perform Tayammum for Zuhur, and then after Zuhur, you wait till the time of Asr and use the same Tayammum to perform Ghusl. Asr prayer. Alright.
So in the same situation, maybe you finish praying Zuhur with the Tayammum and
Tayammum.
Yeah, Tayammum.
Tayammum.
And you're in the plane, and it's 12 hours then. So you have to stay like that till you get before you pray Asr. Perform ablution, pray Asr.
Rather, this question, okay. See, now in the plane, there's water in the plane.
They shot water.
Yeah?
They shot water.
No, they can't. I mean, they program it for. But in case they short water, in that case, what would you use for the Tayammum?
So you realize that there is no water, so you just perform Tayammum before you.
What did you use? What would you use for Tayammum in that instance?
In that tough situation, you use the ground.
So here, this is the situation where you can't find clean earth and you can't also find water. So what do? You pray like that without anything, because the object around are not, you can't use them for what? For Tayammum. You get it? So what do? You pray like that. But remember that any prayer that you pray in the plane, if it's not standing, if you are not standing, you know, most of the planes there's no place for prayer, right? You sit to pray. When you sit and pray, you are praying. You sit and pray to venerate, to honor the time of prayer. But when you land, you have to make up that prayer. You have to make up that prayer. Okay? Why? Because standing to pray, it's obligatory. We'll come to that. Standing to pray, it's obligatory. Performing ruku with khushu, it's what? It's rukun, it's obligatory. But when you are seated on that seat, comfortable, you can't what? You don't stand, and then it's obligatory. And then since you are healthy, you are strong, that particular fard is not what? It will not be pardoned. You have to what? You have to do it. So you pray seated, what? To respect, to honor the time of prayer. But when you land, you have to what? You have to make up that prayer. You get it? Now, you know that praying in the time of prayer is obligatory. You don't have to delay till what? Prayer, the time of prayer expires. You don't have to delay. When you delay without any legal alright. So when you delay without any valid reason, you are sinful. So when you pray in a flight, when it's time for prayer, okay, you are what? You are venerating the time of prayer. And venerating and honoring the time of prayer, it's part of what? It's part of taqwa. Because it's what? It's part of the symbols of Allah. Allah said, وَمَا يُعَظِّمْ شَعَائِرَ اللَّهِ فَإِنَّهَا مِن تَقْوَى الْقُلُوبِ. Right? Honoring and venerating the signs of Allah is part of what? It's part of what? Piety. Okay, so here, when you pray in the plane, okay, when it's time for prayer, you what? There are many rukun of prayer that you don't do. So due to that, the prayer, you get reward for what? For respecting the time of prayer. But the prayer does not what? Suffice. You have to what? When you land, you have to repeat the prayer. Do you get it? So now, let's move on with Tayammum. We are not what in the Bible, sir. So now, before we proceed, yeah, okay, let's continue, then also come back. There's something that I forgot to mention in the beginning. So now, we mentioned that you can't use one Tayammum for what? For
prayers.
2 obligatory prayers, right? But you can, after Tayammum, after an obligatory prayer, let's say you've performed Tayammum for Zohar prayer, can you pray Nawafil after that?
No.
Can you pray Nawafil after that?
No.
How many Nawafil can you pray?
Say, there's one.
One. Okay. That's mazhab of Yusuf. You can only pray one.
As many as you want.
As many as you want.
You can't buy
You can buy them. Okay. MashaAllah. That's good. The Prophet said, إذا علم منكم شيئا فليقل بي ومن لم يعلم فليقل الله أعلم. That when you ask something and you don't know, you say what? When you ask of something and you know, give the answer. Say it. But when you ask of something and you don't know, what do you say? Allah knows best. Right? But of course, this not in this setting. This we are learning. Okay. So I want to hear from you what you know. So it's different. But when someone come to you for fatwa, okay, someone come to you for fatwa, and you know you don't know the answer. You know, because when you don't know something, you don't need anyone to tell you that.
Yes.
Right? Yes. You don't need anyone to tell you. So when you don't know, don't say it. A poet said, إذا سئلت بما جهلت فلا تكن متحزقا متسرع الجواب. كم قال لا أدري أولو الألباب العلم بحر لا نفاد لمائه. لا علم عندي ليس عيب قوله العيب أن يفتى بغير سواد. Right? He said, إذا سئلت بما جهلت فلا تكن متحزقا متسرع الجواب. When you are asked of something you don't know, don't look smart. Don't try to look smart that you know everything, and you don't know, right? Or else you don't know. He said, how many a scholar said they don't know when they ask of things they don't know? Many scholars said, but they don't know when they were asked of things they don't know. And then he said, saying that I don't have knowledge for this, it's not what? It's not a deficiency, or it's not a shame or a disgrace. But to give answer on things that you don't know is what? It's what? Shameful and disgrace. You get it? But I'm not referring to anyone here, just by the way. So here, in our madhab, you can what? You can, after when you perform Tayammum for an obligatory prayer, you can use it for what? For voluntary prayer, for nawafil, as many as you want. As many as you want. Let's say that you've performed Tayammum for Zuhur prayer. After Zuhur, you have time till Asr, right? And you decided to remain in the mosque. And you know, after prayer, when you remain in the mosque, you'll be rewarded as if you are in the prayer. Okay? So then you decided to remain in the mosque till Asr prayer. So you kept what? Praying nawafil till Asr prayer. It's permissible. With that Tayammum. Can you use the same Tayammum for Asr prayer? No, you can't. You get it? Okay, another issue. Let's say that you've prayed, it's let's say 2 o'clock, and then Asr is somewhere 3:30. So now, you perform Tayammum. You came to the mosque and you perform Tayammum for Nawafil, for voluntary prayers. Okay? So you intended that you want to perform tayammum for voluntary prayers. Okay, then you perform nawafil, and it's got to time of prayer. Can you use this tayammum for asr prayer?
No.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay, that's madhab of Shah. Do you think so? Yes, what?
You can pray since you can only use one tayammum for one time prayer.
So you can use this tayammum that you did for a voluntary prayer, for asr prayer. Is that?
Intention was for voluntary prayers.
Yes.
Then
You can't.
I don't know. Allah
You
knows.
don't know. Allah knows. MashaAllah. You're playing nice. Okay, so now
So you can use it.
you can use it. Yeah, you can use it. All right. When let's say you perform tayammum with the intention to pray voluntary prayer, nawafil, or recite the Quran, and then it's time for prayer. You can use that tayammum for what? For a voluntary prayer. You get it?
So, what if you made the intention that I'm making this tayammum to pray asr? Meanwhile, you enter the mosque, maybe you pray some nawafil, you read some Quran, waiting for asr prayers. What about that one?
That's a very good question. So now, you are permitted to perform tayammum and pray obligatory prayer when it is time for that obligatory prayer. So it means that you can't perform tayammum for obligatory prayer and wait for the time of that obligatory prayer, or before the time of that obligatory prayer. Let's say that the time you are waiting for asr prayer, and asr is 3:30, for instance, and then you perform tayammum at 3:20, wanting to pray nawafil before 3:30. So yes, it's okay. You can perform your nawafil, but when it's time for asr, you have to also perform another tayammum for what? For the obligatory prayer. As we said, you can't use tayammum that you did for voluntary prayer or for recitation of the Quran for what? You can't use the same tayammum for what? For obligatory prayer. Is that clear?
Yes. So, can you use a tayammum when you're when you're in the state of major impurity? Can you perform tayammum specifically for Quran?
Okay, so now, yes you can. Yes you can. So now, let's say that you are in a state of major impurity, right? What do you have to do to get rid of this major impurity? Ghusl. And you need water, and you don't have water. Okay, so can you perform tayammum to substitute the ghusl so that you can pray? Yeah? Yeah, of course, you can't perform tayammum in the presence of water. Or when with the availability of, or where water is available. No. Yeah? You can. Yeah, we'll come to that. What are you saying you can?
So you asked that can you perform tayammum, in place of
Ghusl.
For ghusl.
Oh, okay, you can. That's correct. Yeah, you can. So that's the same thing Ammar.
Okay.
Yeah, he rolled himself in. And then when he came to the Prophet said to him, it would have sufficed to just strike, meaning to perform tayammum. So you can, when you are in a state of major impurity, you can perform tayammum to pray. Okay, but don't forget that the tayammum does not remove what?
The major impurity.
Okay.
But the salah is okay.
Yeah, the salah is okay. Yeah. And then we mentioned something you were not here. That is, this tayammum, it has a way of intention. It's also a different way of intending. So that is, you intend that you are going to perform tayammum to permit you to pray.
Okay.
That's the intention. Why are you doing that? Because tayammum does not remove impurities.
So it means if water comes, then you have to go to the
So now, this is a good question. Now, when does your tayammum invalidate, or when does it become null?
when water comes.
Yeah, when you find water. Okay, so before we come to that, what are the circumstances or the instances where you need to perform tayammum? Is the question clear?
No.
Okay.
Can find water.
If you can't find water, right? If you can't find water, so if you can't find water, it means that you search for water and you can't find it, right?
Yes.
Not just be in your sofa and then say, "There's no water."
There's no water.
No, right? You have to search, look around, make sure there's no water, right? Before you think of performing tayammum.
Also, when there is water, but the water is not enough, like you want to use it for cooking.
That's also, if you have water but the water is not enough, it's for cooking or drinking, then you don't have to use it for tayammum, because when you use it, you'll be thirsty, or you'll be in need of water, right? And your life, Islam want to preserve your life more than the purification. So you have to perform tayammum and not use the water that you need for your usage. Okay.
I have a question and a point to me.
Okay. Make the point, then you ask a question.
Okay. When there is water, but the water is too cold that if you
Yes.
use the water, you can get sick or something.
Mhm.
You have to you can form this.
Okay. That's also another instance, right? So that's when, let's say, there's water. We said that you are permitted to perform tayammum in absence of what? In the absence of water. So there's water, but the weather does not permit you to perform ablution. The weather is really cold. You can't. But don't you have something to boil the water?
Yeah.
If you have something to boil the water, then you have to what? You have to boil the water and use the warm water to perform ablution. Right? But if you are in a place, in a desert, there's water, but the weather is extremely cold. And then you know for sure, you are certain when you use this cold water in performing ablution or ghusl, maybe that's the end of your life. So here, there is no way, Islam does not permit you to use that water in that weather. Right? You have to perform tayammum, leave the water, perform tayammum and pray. If you say, no, I don't want to do that because my level of iman is high, and then you went and used the water,
You die.
and you die, you've killed yourself, you'll be punished. Yes, you'll be punished.
So also when you are sick and your body water shouldn't touch your body.
Yeah, so when you are sick and then your doctor recommend that you should not use water on your body, right? Okay. So when you use that water, it will increase what? The sickness or the ailment. So in this case, what do? You perform tayammum. Even if there's warm water, there's water, you perform tayammum. You get it? So these are the circumstances or the instances where you can perform tayammum. And then there's also another one that you did not mention. There's water, but that then there's water, but at a distance. And then you are also at your place. You are the only one there, and then you have properties. You have your properties with you. When you leave it, you can't carry the property to what? To where the water is. And when you leave it,
Someone is there.
someone will steal it. You don't have to leave the property because of impurity, because of what? The water or the purification. You can stand to protect your property, perform tayammum and pray. You get it? All these are what the ease that Islam has facilitated for Muslims in case of what? Difficulties. You get it?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any question?
Yes.
Okay.
Say.
You wanted to make a point and ask
Oh,
a question.
okay. Ask your point. You've made a point, so what is the question?
Okay, let's say you're in a place, like this polar region, like this extreme cold, like snows, and you are there, and then it's time for prayers. Always you are in a major impurity or something, and the whole place is snow. and there's water, but the place is very cold. You can use the water. And just snow. So what do?
You can use the snow for tayammum. Yeah. You can use the snow for tayammum. You know, when it's snowing like that, even though it's cold, you can't use water, alright. But you can use the snow. And the snow, it's not that cold, you know. Of course, it's ice. Okay, that's when it melts. It becomes cold when it melts, right? So in this case, you can use the snow to perform tayammum. Just strike like this. You can do that, okay? Since you can't use water because of what? Because of the cold, because of the coldness, okay? Right. Is that clear?
Yeah. So the example I wanted to make, maybe you're in a building or for instance, our masjid, and you had some properties with you, but you know downstairs there's water, but there is no one you can entrust your property with. With that one, can you still perform tayammum? With the wall, it's not painted.
The wall is not painted.
Yeah.
This question, brother. The circumstance around this question does not permit you to perform tayammum, even though you have your property and then no one is there to leave it for the person. But it's a mosque, brother. It's a mosque. You can find someone to leave it for. But let's say that it's a place where there's a mosque. A mosque is there, but people don't come and pray. Right? People don't come there to pray. But in this mosque, when you come, is there something that you can't move to the ablution area? You can carry it.
Maybe the thing doesn't like water.
Oh, brother. When you go to the ablution area, are you going to perform ablution on the property?
So maybe it's.
So in this case, brother, if it's a bag, carry your bag, go to the ablution area and perform ablution. Right?
There are many goods.
Yeah, it's many goods. You place it where water will not reach.
Okay, so what if you are maybe in a story building, and there's no one you can entrust the properties to, and maybe it's time for prayers, but there's water down, and you are scared maybe getting down, someone will come up and take the thing, and the things too, they are plenty in a way you can't carry everything.
How did you carry it to the mosque? How did you carry it to the mosque? How did you carry it to the mosque? You find a way to go and perform ablution. I can't tell you to perform tayammum. I mean, the example I gave, let's say you have a farm, right? There's a farmland that you have your property in there, your farm produce and all that. And when you leave, people may come and spill, or maybe animals can intrude in it. In this case, you don't have to risk it.
And the distance is far.
The distance too is far, right? Brother, but you are in a city, man. And then the water is downstairs. I mean, the ground floor. Carry your bag, carry your property, and then perform.
But so please, what if maybe in case like how we are here, maybe you've misplaced your key, like it's time for prayers. You have to go to the mosque.
Yeah.
Will you have to sit down or wait before we come, or maybe you will do your own?
So what does the key has to do for ablution?
Like maybe if we all go out, something may happen, and maybe you have to lock. Then maybe you've.
So are you asking that can you perform tayammum here and pray?
Yes.
Big no.
So you have to wait so that.
No, with capital N first.
Okay. At that time, going to the mosque, is it obligatory?
So now, brothers, we are discussing tayammum and then you are taking us to salah. It's okay. Now, what is the ruling of praying in the mosque? This question is related to that. Brother, if you can hear the azan, going to the mosque to pray is wajib. Yes. If you don't hear the azan whenever it's raised, then praying at the mosque or the congregation is not obligatory. But if you can hear the azan when it's raised, when it's called, then praying at the mosque is what is wajib. So here you can, no problem, if there is a risk of losing your property, if you leave, no problem, you can wait. Okay, you can wait and pray in the second time of the prayer, right? You can wait and pray in the second time of the prayer.
The second time, as in maybe when the prayer starts at maybe 3:30, and then
so the
after like 30 minutes or 1 hour.
Yes, that's the second. You know, this prayer, Zuhur, Asr, and Isha.
Yes.
Right, you have first time, second time, and third time. Okay, so we will explain it more when we get to Salah, the time of prayer. So here, if you miss the first time, which is the most virtuous time, that the Prophet ﷺ said it's the best form of act. He was asked, what is the best deed in Islam? And he said, praying in the first time, right? Praying in the first time. So so praying in the first time. So if you can't pray in the first time because of your situation, you delay it to the second time or the third time, right? Yeah, but this does not permit you to pray alone or to perform.
So again, on the tayammum, maybe you have to perform ghusl, and there's no water. You did your tayammum. Then after that, you find water. Do you still perform the ghusl to
see, when you perform tayammum in absence of water and you find water, that tayammum becomes what? Null, invalid, and you can't use it to pray. Immediately you find water and you can use it, you have to what? You have to perform ablution or ghusl. The tayammum becomes null. So another question. Let's say that you perform tayammum to pray because there's no water, and then you found water before the prayer. What happens?
Yes.
What do?
Ablution.
You perform ablution before you go and pray. Okay. Let's say that you are in prayer. You are praying. You perform tayammum because there's no water, and you went and started praying. Okay, and then you heard that they found water. You are in prayer and you heard that they found water. What do?
you stop?
Huh? You end the prayer, and then you continue with the prayer, and then the prayer is also valid. You don't have to repeat it. Okay, another question. Let's say you perform tayammum to pray, and after prayer they found water. After you've prayed, they found water within the time of what? Of that prayer. Let's say you perform tayammum the first time, and then they found water in the second time. What do? Do you have to perform ablution and repeat it, or what?
For me, it's
Yeah, mazhab. It's okay.
Since for the first instance you gave, as you are praying and then you heard that there's water, you can still
continue.
Right? With this one, after the prayers you have already prayed, and then you heard that there's water the second time of the salah. That is my
that's also another mazhab. Mazhab of Imam Ilyas.
I'm thinking is okay.
So this mazhab al-Ilyasiyya. And then this mazhab Yusufiyya. And that's another mazhab Sha'ibiyya. Alright, so now Yeah, so that's it. When you, after prayer, they found water, you don't have to repeat that prayer. There's instance that happened between two companions. They were on a journey, and then it's time for prayer. They could not find water. And then they all performed tayammum and prayed. Then later, they found water. One of them performed ablution of the water and repeated that prayer. And then the other did not. So when they came to the Prophet, they related the incident to the Prophet. And then the Prophet said to the one who did not repeat the prayer, he said, Asabta sunnah wa ajza'atka salat. Meaning, he said, what you did, you acted according to the sunnah. And then your prayer was what? Accepted and correct. And then he said to the other person who performed the ablution and repeated the prayer, he said, Lakal ajru marratayn. You have a double reward for the two prayers you did. So the first prayer is what we considered nafila for him, and then the second one will be considered what? The obligatory. So you have what? You have double reward for the prayer. Okay. Right?
Investment.
Yes, good investment. Okay.
Relating to the solar.
Okay.
Just you see about Juma, let's say you see if like those who work in the masjid, let's say we are security, we are Muslim, and it's time for prayers. You know, if it's Zohor, maybe you can wait for them. You are supposed to be guiding the place, in case of any other. So you can be praying with them. Even like in Masjid Haram, what they do, sometimes you have to wait for them to finish their prayer. They will pray their own prayer after their congregation. So let's say it's Juma, and the Imam is giving the khutbah. You are supposed to be seated and listen to the khutbah. You are also supposed to, you are security guard, you are also supposed to be watching out. So you can't join those who are sitting and listening to the khutbah. You can't do that. So you have to be now. So have you missed that time? I mean, like, you are supposed to sit, like you have missed. You won't get the full word and the Juma and the khutbah, the prayer. You will get the prayer.
Yeah, but if you are on the post like that will not prevent you from listening to the khutbah. But you will not be seated, but you can be listening to the khutbah. Yeah.
But you can sometimes talk because
there's no problem. This in a state of what? Necessity. So you will not be sinful because you have to do many things and also follow the khutbah.
So your name will be captured among those who come early because you are the security. You are there before we go.
Yeah, that's when you intend that. That's when, if you intend that you are going to Juma early and then to also what? Be on post. Then
and then sometimes when they are praying to the Juma, when they are praying, still they are still on their post, like they won't join them.
But they pray.
That's after the Juma. So they pray Zuhur or they pray Juma.
Yeah, so here no for them, if they've not joined them, they have to pray Zuhur 4 rakat. Yeah, because you don't pray Juma twice. They have to pray 4 rakat for Zuhur. Is that correct? Any other question?
Basically, when they Tayammum, if we are with major impurities and you perform Tayammum, if you find water, do you still have to perform ghusl or it's okay?
No, so brother, we said when you are on a major impurity or minor impurity and you perform tayammum to permit you to pray, immediately you find water, the ablution, the tayammum becomes what?
No, I want to know, like, did you,
yes, you have to
perform ghusl too?
you have to perform ghusl since you are on what? On a major, in a state of what? Major impurity. You have to perform ghusl. Yeah.
Then you continue your,
you continue the act of worship that you are doing. Yeah.
Say, what if maybe you are on a journey? The sand is wet for tayammum. And it's actually rain. Can you use rainwater and perform ablution?
You know, when we were discussing types of water, we mentioned the types of water that you can use for ablution, and then rainwater is what is part of it. But you know, when you are in the rain itself, can you collect the rain to perform ablution?
So there's no container, there's nothing, you are journeying.
So you are journeying, what are you doing in the rain?
So there isn't a mask.
So I mean, but of course you can. Yeah, you can. Here now you are wet already, right? And then the water came from the sky to your body, so the water is clean. What do? You can suffice with what? With what you can wash, because it will be hard to what to collect, to rinse in them out, right? And then also to collect the water and also what sniff, inhale and exhale. It will be difficult. So what do? In this case, you wash what you can. Of course, in the sequence that you can, right? You can wash your hands with that water. It's fine because it's wet already. You wash the hands. You leave the mouth, the extension, since it will be difficult. Then you are wet already. You can use the water is clean to wash the face, and then you can also use water to wash the hands, right, to the elbows. Then you can also wash the feet.
You can cover the fat.
Yeah, you can cover the fat with also there. Of course, if you're not wearing turban, then the hair must be wet. So you can just rub it with the same water and then rub the ears and then you are done. Yeah. But I wonder what you'll be doing that way if you are journeying.
And let's say you have water, but the water is not, it's not clean. Can you use that water? No.
So that water that's not clean, there's no any other clean water.
Yes, that's the water you have.
It's not clean, then you have to perform tayammum. You don't have water. Okay, so this question, I see that this question does not end, so we have to end it. Is there another question? Okay, so hope everything is clear. All about tayammum? Alright, so alhamdulillah. So let's pause here and then continue next week. So in our next lesson, there are certain issues that we've not looked at, and they are very important. That is, one is wiping the hoof, the leather socks, and then we also look at can you, in place of the leather socks, can you wipe on socks, normal socks, and also wiping on the bandage, and then also these related issues.
So is it on tayammum or ablution?
No, it's on ablution, pertaining to ablution and also tayammum as well. Before we move to prayer salah. Okay, let's pause here.